I've honestly never been more nervous to tell you my honest thoughts on a movie than I am to tell you about Blade Runner 2049. This is going to go well, isn't it? Before we begin, I just want to say a massive thank you for all the support I had in my last video, my makeup challenge with my girlfriend. It's already over 100 views, which is great. So if you haven't seen it, be sure to check the channel out, and I'll leave a link to it in the description. So Blade Runner 2049 is directed by Denis Villeneuve, the mastermind behind one of my favourite movies of last year, Arrival. One thing I can tell you off the bat is that this feels like a Blade Runner sequel. Blade Runner 2049 follows Ryan Gosling's character, Officer K, who's on an assignment from the LAPD that he works for, and eventually he starts to notice little clues in this assignment. And that ends up leading on this massive storyline, this massive kind of detective case throughout the Blade Runner world. It's very much like an old detective noir film. It's all about finding the next clue, finding the next step, one thing leads to another, and it's woven together really, really well. In this universe there are humans and there are replicants. Now the older versions of the replicants are illegal now, so that's why Blade Runner's LAPD officers go out and trying to exterminate them. They kill them, that's what they do. The newer models of the replicants are legal though. A big part of the story is that Ryan Gosling's character isn't sure whether he was born from replicants. Now, replicants giving birth and being pregnant is not possible, but within the investigation he finds out that our replicants did have children, and he's not sure if he is that child. And so a big part of the storyline is finding out not only all this information about this investigation, but also whether he is the son of Harrison Ford and Rachel, the character from the original Blade Runner. It turns out he's actually not. The memories that were implanted in him were actually the memories of their child, and so that's where the confusion comes from. But that whole point was really clever, because there was a point in the movie where he was so set that he was the son, all of us were set he was the son, and then they twisted it on its head. I think visually it's also stunning. Some of the shots were amazing. There's a really cool moment in the trailer. You see it's like a totally orange background and Ryan Gosling's walking away from the camera. That looks stunning in the cinema. Like, one thing I have to give props to in this movie, and it's the same with Arrival when he did it, was the cinematography, and that is outstanding. His direction is brilliant, his shots are really cool. It's a very artistic movie. You can tell that I think Villeneuve was a Blade Runner fan. I believe he's a fan of Ridley Scott in the original movie, and you can see him not paying homage to it, like he's doing it his own way, but you can tell it definitely feels like a Blade Runner sequel. You could tell he put a lot of thought and effort into how he was going to shoot this. It looks very meticulous, like every shot is there for a reason, and it looks very much like there was a lot of planning and thought going behind every single shot. So visually the movie was stunning. Performance wise, also very good. Ryan Gosling stood out. I haven't seen a movie recently that Ryan Gosling hasn't been really, really good in. So Ryan Gosling's character, who is a Blade Runner, much like Harrison Ford's in the original, goes around trying to kill replicants. Now, a big part of the original Blade Runner was, is Harrison Ford a replicant? Is he a replicant or is he human? You didn't really find an answer for it, and that's one of kind of the movie's ultimate unanswered questions that Ridley Scott, the director himself, even hasn't given a straightforward answer to. And so I was really nervous going into this movie, kind of scared if they would answer it, because half of me doesn't really want to know. Half of me likes the fact that it's an unanswered question. A lot of problems sequels have nowadays is they fill in the gaps of previous movies, and sometimes I believe gaps don't need to be filled. I'm really, really glad in this movie they do not tell you if Harrison Ford's a replicant or not. They leave that still unanswered, and I love that. Speaking of Harrison Ford, he was also really, really good in it. Again, I was nervous it's going to be one of his roles like Force Awakens was. It is just literally so he can sign off this character, this storyline. I'm really glad he wasn't in it just for the sake of being in it. The storyline needed him, the storyline depended on him being there, and I'm really glad it wasn't a case of let's just get Harrison Ford in it because he was in the original. I thought Jared Leto was really good as well. He's playing a lot of creepy weirdos recently in movies, but this one's good. He wore contact lenses to make him blind. He's really, really good at that role, and he did it really, really well. Now, one of my big problems I had with Blade Runner was it was slow. It was nearly 3 hours long. It's nearly 3 hours movie. I think it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes. And it felt like it. That's the problem I have with it, is that it felt slow. There was a point in the movie where genuinely I was bored at a time, and that's not because what I wasn't watching wasn't beautiful or what I wasn't listening to was interesting. It was just, it dragged. It seemed like everyone's lines were said really slow and meticulous, but not all lines need to be like that. It felt like a slow movie. Now, the pacing of the first Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner, don't get me wrong, isn't great either. It can be slow. But I don't know what it was. For this one, this just seemed to really drag out. I think there was a lot of stuff in the movie that didn't need to be in the movie. They just kind of put it in because it would be interesting and cool. I think a lot of it could have been cut. And so I'd be interested to see. Now, I don't want to make Blade Runner 2049 like the original Blade Runner. There's like 7 or 8 versions. But I would like to see a more condensed version of it to see what they would take out and how they would work it that way. Overall, I would say if you're a massive fan of Blade Runner, you will love Blade Runner 2049. I think Denis Villeneuve did a brilliant job with it. However, I do feel it's slow, its pace needs a little bit of work, but other than that, guys, I really can't fault the cinematography or the performances. It really is just the pacing that I think brings it down. And so for that, out of 10, guys, I'm going to give Blade Runner 2049 an 8. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Have you seen Blade Runner 2049? If you have, go ahead and let me know what you thought of it in the comment section down below. And don't forget to leave your rating out of 10. If you liked the video, please go ahead and hit the like rating down below. I really do appreciate it. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss some FilmFanatic content. I'll see you next time, guys. Take care. Badoosh!